everyone. This training will focus on the guideline for onboarding new joiners for Hong Kong as well as for overseas. We will be looking at the guide on 5 weeks onboarding. That is written for Hong Kong, but we'll talk about how you can apply that to your own location and make that training guide yours. Let's have a brief refresher on where you can find the materials. So for the other materials that you need for the onboarding training, if you need to find out more information about that, we have a YouTube video on our channel called How to Locate Your Training Materials. Go to your Google Drive, and if you go to Share Drives, you will see Global Guidelines for Front of House Team. Click into that. You'll see these folders, and this time we're going to the LM's guideline on 5 weeks onboarding. And here you're able to see the onboarding guideline, and this is the material we'll be discussing for today. Before we start the training, let's think about the term onboarding itself. The term onboarding is a metaphor of bringing someone onto a ship. We're not bringing visitors to our company. We're employing employees. They're the people that we expect to stay and make a difference. We don't want our employee to jump ship or get off the ship early. And an entry to an organization can set someone up for success. And that is the reason why onboarding is so important to the Hive. We want to make sure that impression and expectations are set right from the very beginning. Now let's look at the guide. So this is how it looks like. On the first page, on your left-hand side, is a timeline of an onboarding journey. So it's basically a brief description of what's going to happen during each week. So on week 1, the new joiner will focus on front of house operation and onboarding process as well. Second week, they'll talk about a little more into the front of house operations with a little learning about memberships. Week 3, it'll be business admin. If you're in Hong Kong, this will be conducted by the front of house team. Overseas, they'll be conducted by the finance team locally. Week 4, it'll be introduction to sales. Week 5 is introduction to event and content, and you can see that there's product knowledge and review. So if you're in Hong Kong, your new joiner will have to do a product knowledge test with me. And for elsewhere, they will have a week 5 catch up with me, and that happens with Hong Kong as well. So after week 5, from week to 10, you will learn more about on the job. So you will be observing your new joiner, seeing their weaknesses, focus area, what their strengths are. And week 11 to 12 will be their probation review. And during this time, we will send you a review on KickHR. So you have to fill it in, and you can let us know if you would like to get any other teammates to be involved in the review, or if you'd like to just be yourself and the new joiner. And on your right, you see tip boxes. So you will see these throughout the entire guideline, and the purpose of these tip boxes is for you to focus on the goals of the week or the day, and also serve as pointers for location managers or trainers. So basically, this guideline serves as a support for location managers to onboard their new joiners. It serves as a framework, but we also allow a lot of flexibility in terms of how you like to implement the materials and topics. And also, we are totally supportive if you'd like to take ownership in terms of how you like to shape the onboarding program to suit your operational needs, and also the learning style, progress, and personality of your new joiner. Did you know that improper onboarding can lead to 50% of turnover rate in the first 18 months of employment? And this is why your role is very important in terms of setting expectation and impression right from the beginning to ensure that the onboarding process is as smooth as possible. Schedule for day 1. It is written based in Hong Kong, and that's the reason why we have Angela and Angie involved in welcoming our new joiners to our team. If you are overseas, please play the videos for our new joiners. And the goal is for new joiners to know us a little better, know about our team, our department, our mission, values, and beliefs, so that we can keep them engaged from the very beginning. The reason why we like to introduce different departments to the new joiners is because we want to create a sense of community and belonging to them from the first day. Social belonging is a driven factor for motivation, and relationships can make you happier at work, and that is the reason why we have the happy hour culture. And of course, aside from that reason, it's also important for new joiners to know what departments do so they know who to go for if they have questions. Here is the second part of day 1. So you can see that there will be lunchtime with the people team for Hong Kong, and elsewhere you'll be having lunch with the new joiner. And also, there will be a tour of the space for the new joiner as well. So the goal for the second part of day one is for the new joiner to familiarize themselves with the team, also with the space. And we strongly suggest the team to bring the new joiner out for a team lunch on their first day. And the reason is because that again brings out the sense of community and belonging out of the new joiner, and that could enhance their happiness and trust with the team. One of the very important goals to achieve on week one is to create a sense of community and belonging for the new joiner. And that is the reason why we strongly encourage the team to bring the new joiner out for lunch on their very first day, so you can create that sense of relationship building from the start. And that is very important for the rest of the onboarding program as well. And that is because community is a very strong value of ours to members and to team members as well. That is why the onboarding program really focuses on creating that community for our new joiner from the start. It is our value and belief that give life to this onboarding program, and that's what makes us different than the other onboarding program and make ours unique. As you can see on the last part, to end the day, we'll have a brief touch base with the new joiner, and the goal is to get to know them a little better, to see what impression they have of us, to see how they feel on their first day. And in Hong Kong, it's done by the location manager of Hive on 7. Elsewhere, it'll be done with the location manager. We want to ensure that our new joiners feel valued, and that is done through understanding them as individuals, helping them locate their needs and motivations, recognizing their abilities, and to observe and evaluate what environment can we provide to best promote their contribution. And this is day 2. As you can see, there's more on-the-job learning involved here and also classroom training. We'll be introducing Office R&D to the new joiner, and the reason why this is done on day 2 is because booking meeting rooms, finding members is a very common request they may encounter as a front of house. So it's important that they learn the basic on their first week. Moving on to day 3. As you can see from day 3, day 4, even day 5, there are less classroom trainings and more observation and shadowing involved. And the reason is because we hope that the new joiner can shadow and observe and apply what they have learned onto the job. So there's more on the job learning. And the reason is because the new joiner is in a stage where they're focusing on the growth of their hard skills. So it's better if they could learn more on the job with a little bit of classroom training. And lastly, you can see that the last part, they'll get a catch-up session with me. After having the catch-up with the new joiner, I will communicate my notes with the location manager as well, so we can work on an effective program for the new joiner to learn the best and how we can support their growth the best as well. If the new joiner is in Hong Kong, I will be doing that personally with them. If they're in overseas, I will do it through Google Hangout. The purpose of the week 1 catch-up is for us to understand the new joiner a little better from their perspective, what they think they can contribute to the team, what they like to focus on, and how they find their first week so far. After spending a week with us, new joiners should have a rough idea of what membership is. And that's the reason why on second week, we want to focus on elaborating on membership with them, and it will make a little more sense than if we wrote it out during week 1. As you can see, there will be a classroom training on membership, and I will be conducting this training. And if they're overseas, I'll be doing that through video calls. And if they're in Hong Kong, I will be conducting the training in person. And here you can see by the end of week 2, the new joiner should know very basic function of front of house operations. And that includes floor check, where everything is kept and stored, how to locate documents, mail handling, reception manners. They should also understand membership procedures a little better and be more comfortable with utilizing Office R&D. Moving on to week 3, the topic of focus is business admin, where they'll learn a little bit more about one-off fees, petty cash, invoices, and Office R&D tasks and updates. And the training will be conducted by the finance team, either from Hong Kong or a designated trainer at the location. On to week 4, new joiners should be able to know the basic drill of front of house operations already. For example, opening procedure, closing procedure, the very basic of front of house operations. And on top of that, our focus of week 4 is Introduction to Sales Training. Introduction to Sales Training is focused on the experience we bring to our prospect member by taking them on tours. After the training, please observe and assess your new joiners' progress and see if they're ready for an actual tour training before having them lead an actual tour. On the last week of their onboarding, on week 5, new joiners should already have basic product knowledge on front of house operation and be able to operate on their own. And the topic of focus on week 5 is Introduction to Events and Content. We'll be having a week 5 catch up. In Hong Kong, I'll be doing personally, in person with them. And elsewhere, I will be conducting over video call. And in Hong Kong, they will have a product knowledge test as well. For the Introduction to Event and Content training, it is a brief introduction to the departments, who does what, why they do what they do. For advanced training, please assess your new joiners' progress and operational needs, and you can schedule that with the department's team members. And the key is to provide a space for our new joiner to grow a community for themselves. We're not expecting them to blend into the rest of us, but we are hoping that they can stand out. It is our job to develop our new joiners, to see their progress personally, to see them grow in confidence, and to see them grow in their careers. Thank you for being with us today. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I look forward to seeing you in our next training.